Welcome welcome back to the Variety Pack Podcast. I'm your host, Rashad, and today I wanted to talk about One Piece. And in the world of One Piece, I wanted to talk about Jimbei of the Strawhat Pirates. Jimbei of the Strawhat Pirates. So, without further ado, let's start the show. Oh, and I forgot. Make sure you follow me on social media: Facebook, The Variety Pack Podcast; Twitter, The Variety Pack Podcast; Instagram, The Variety Pack Podcast; and also TikTok, The Variety Pack Podcast. Let's start the show. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Why don't we? So, I really enjoy Jimbei as a character. I really enjoy him as a character, man. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about him, So, the first thing, as we all know, Luffy broke him out of Impel Down, and before Luffy broke him out of Impel Down, what do we see? We see Ace talking about, he was like, yeah, my brother's gonna, try to come and save me, but Jimbei, I want you to look out for my brother. And then he meets Luffy, and Luffy breaks him out along with Crocodile and, Ivankov or whatever. So at the beginning, when we first see Jimbei and Ace tells him to look at the Luffy, you could tell, at first he was doing it because Ace told him to do it, but as the time goes on, and I'll get into them as the episode goes on, you see Jimbei, he starts to really grow to not do it because of one of my homies told me to look out for his little brother, but I'm doing it because now I've grown to understand Luffy and respect him, and I'm a ride with him. And the first thing is, after Impel Down, we have the Marineford. And we all know what Jimbei did in Marineford. All the One Piece fans out there, we know what Jimbei did to protect Luffy in Marineford. He took half of Kainu's punch. Luffy got half of it, then Jimbei got the other half. So, and the fans know, we all know, if Luffy would have took the full brunt of that punch without Jimbei taking half of it for him, Luffy would have been out of here. No more Pirate King Dream, no more meat, no more nothing. You would have been out of here, buddy. You would have been out of here. So he definitely saved Luffy's life in Marineford. He definitely saved Luffy's life, because when I first watched Marineford, and I was like, and I saw that for myself, I'm like, yo, you just met this dude. Even though Ace was like, he was telling you stories about Luffy while y'all was locked up, but you just met this dude, and you step in, you know what I'm saying? Like, not a lot of people will do that for somebody they just met. You just met this dude a couple hours ago, and now you taking a half of a death blow for him. Oh man, so That right there, I was like, when I first saw that, I'm like, yo, this dude, man, you know. But that's how they, in anime, they like, oh, we make friends. They, because we all know anime, they make friends very fast in anime. That's, that's one of the tropes of the anime genre at large. They make friends very quickly. But yo, that was still wild. You just met this guy a couple hours ago. He freed you from your shackles. I get that, but yo, most cats ain't finna take no half of a death blow for somebody I just met. So I salute Jimbei on that 100%, man. That's the most stand up guy thing you could do. 10 toes down for, cause my buddy, he gave me, he asked me to look out for his little brother. So I'm doing what I gotta do. And then after Marineford, after Luffy sees Ace die right in front of him, he sees Ace die right in front of him, man. So, and we all know Luffy had, but he had he had a breakdown. He had a breakdown. He was like, yo, because he did all that to go save him. Luffy busted his ass to go save Ace. He went through a lot of stuff. He went through a lot of stuff to save him. He literally took a detour to go save him because he was, I'm coming back to my crew in 3 days or 2 days, whatever it was. And he's like, oh, I'm taking a detour because my brother, he's in, they got him in Marineford. They got him. So I'm going to go take a detour, and instead of 2 or 3 days, y'all come back. We come back in 2 years. And it's but yeah, man, Ace, he he jumped in front of Akainu and took the punch. But yeah, but to see what Jimbei did after that, and I know it was tough for Jimbei as well, because you just told me to look out for your little brother, and then you get taken out by Akainu in front of everybody, man. He was in front of everybody. Whitebeard and Marco and everybody, Diamond Juzo, everybody, man. But the fact what Jimbei did after that, in terms of what he did to help Luffy on a mental level, not about strength, on a mental level, he helped Luffy out tremendously. Because in that time, like, yo, he's mentally nerfed. He's mentally nerfed and he's emotionally nerfed. So he got hit with a double whammy seeing his brother die. He got hit with a double whammy. And that's understandable that's understandable. That's understandable. I was like, yeah, he has to go through that pain and that trauma, albeit a healthy dose of trauma, but he has to go through that, man. Because that breeds growth. Everybody out there can relate to it, man. That's why One Piece is such a great story. But seeing what Jimbei did for Luffy in that moment, seeing that he was emotionally and mentally nerfed, and he was, Luffy was upset. He tried to fight Jimbei or whatever, and Jimbei had to yank him up. We saw it. Jimbei had to yank his ass up. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, bro? Bandages from head to toe. You trying to fight me? And Jimbei told him, like, you still got your crew. You still got your homie. You still got the squad, baby. Now, I know it's painful to see your brother die right in front of you. It's very painful. But you got to keep moving, baby. you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep moving. So in that moment of Marineford, Jimbei was his, at Luffy's darkest moment, Jimbei was there. At Luffy's darkest moment, Jimbei was there. All he did in that moment was try to understand Luffy. He understood like what was going on. He's handled it like you would handle it. He handled it best way you could, man. It's like, yo, I got your back. I know you going through a lot with your brother's death right in front of you, but you have your friends. If I have to yank you up against this rock for you to understand what I'm talking about, then I will yank you up against this rock. So yeah, man. Jimbei, man, older man, hey, genius. Then my next moment, in Fishman Island, Jimbei gave Luffy blood because I don't know. Please forgive me. I don't know the intricate details of what happened. I forgot because I watched Fishman Island so long ago. But Luffy, he was losing a lot of blood, and nobody else on the island was compatible. Because nobody was compatible. Nobody was compatible. Luffy was doing a lot of blood. He was fighting, a lot of folks on the island or whatever. And he lost a lot of blood and nobody was compatible. And here comes Jimbei. Fishman that you wouldn't even think, oh yeah, he can help Luffy, because you wouldn't even think that. But he was the one that was the donor that Luffy needed for him to survive. So that's another man, Jimbei, man. So him giving Luffy blood, and then while they were laying on the ground, getting the transfer, Luffy he looks over at Jimbei. It's like, hey, Jimbei, join my crew, man. Because at that point in the story, Fishman Island, Luffy already like, yo, this man done saved my life 2 times already. This man done saved my life a couple times already. And Luffy, he would not hesitate to ask you to join his crew at all. He not hesitating. If he feel a vibe with you, he gonna ask you straight away. The One Piece community, yeah, we know Luffy gonna ask you straight away, join my crew, man. He not gonna hesitate at all. So the Fishman Island, nobody else could be a donor. Then Jimbei was like, boom, and he helps him. And then Luffy's like, join my crew. And then, so yeah, man, it's just these moments, man, from my man Jimbei. It's like, yo, you have to respect him as a character because of just how he carries himself and how he moves. He moves with such honor, and you know what I'm saying? He moves with such honor, man. He don't play about that respect and honor. He don't play about that. So yeah, man, Jimbei coming through again for big Luffy, man. Just another notch under his belt, man, of being one of the realest guys in the whole series. Then this next moment, this next talking point right here, man, it's like, yo, when I saw this in the anime, I was like, yo, he got balls of steel, my man. He got balls of steel. His speech to Big Mom at Whole Cake Island. His speech to Big Mom at Whole Cake Island. He goes and tells Big Mom, it was like, yeah, I'm about to leave your crew so I can go, travel the world with Luffy or whatnot. And then she's like, she pulls out her I think it's called the Hocus Pocus. She pulls out the Hocus Pocus and she's like, you know, she said do her little chant, live or life or whatever, however she says it. And she pulls out the Hocus Pocus and she tries to intimidate him. And if you show any fear in the front of her Hocus Pocus, she could take some of your lifespan away. And he knew this because he been down with Big Mom for a minute, so he knew what she was capable of. And the fact that he stood in front of her was like with the most conviction. He stood 10 toes down in what he believed in. He stood in front of her with so much conviction. He ain't even tripped. He ain't even tripped that the Hocus Pocus was in front of him, and he ain't show no fear at all. He ain't show no fear at all. And like, he just told her, he was like, why would I be afraid of a mere Yonko or Emperor when I'm rolling with the future Pirate King? Why would I be afraid of a mere Emperor, when I got an invitation to ride with the future Pirate King, when I could be the helmsman of the future Pirate King ship? Why would I be afraid of a mere Emperor? One of the coldest lines in the series. One of the coldest face-offs in the series. Because we know Jimbei versus Big Mom. They not whatever. Jimbei is out of his league or whatever. But the fact that he stood there and he knew, was like, I'm standing 10 toes down on what I believe in. And he looked the Hocus Pocus in the eye and didn't flinch, not once. Because I believe before Jimbei came up and told her how he felt, she took like a couple of people's lives anyway, or at least shortened some of their lives. Because as soon as you see that Hocus Pocus, man, you're fearful. Especially if you're not strong-willed, you're definitely going to be fearful. You're definitely going to be fearful, man. So the fact that he stood on his convictions, even though he knew outnumbered, if she was on some, let's battle, let's fight, he couldn't take her in a one-on-one match. He knew that, but the fact that he stood there 10 toes down and followed his conviction and never wavered, that's my boy. That's my boy Jimbei, man. That's my boy Jimbei. He's a lot of One Piece fans like, he's the uncle. He's the uncle at the barbecue at the family reunion, that the cool uncle. And yeah, being an uncle myself, I can definitely understand that. Yeah. Man, Jimbei. I love Jimbei, man. And then, keeping up with Whole Cake Island, he helps his old crew, the Sun Pirates. He helps them while they're helping the Straw Hats escape from Whole Cake Island. He helps his old crew, the Sun Pirates. He helps them while they're helping the Straw Hats get away from Big Mom and get off of Whole Cake Island. He's like Luffy, can I bring up the rear? Please let me bring up the rear. These are my guys. I can't just leave them hanging. He's like, Luffy, please let me bring up the rear. These are my guys. I can't leave them hanging. And Luffy was like, go do your thing, man. Go do your thing. And Luffy was like, "This is a moment I love. I love this moment from Luffy." He was like, he told Jimbei, "Whatever you do, man, come back alive. I'll be waiting for you at Wano. Come back alive at all cost. Come back." And in that moment, Luffy wasn't being goofy. He was straight up in captain mode. He told him straight up, "Come back. Don't you die on me. You better come back. You hear me? Don't you die on me, man." So yeah, man. That's man. So that moment, man. And then when he finally does make it to Wano, yo, it's a party. It's a party. When he finally does make it to Wano, it's a party. Cause soon as he come, cause at first they was like, cause they saw something in the water. They're like, "What is that? What is that?" And I was like, "Oh man, I don't know what that is. What is that?" And then they started to see it through the water, peeking out the water or whatever. And it was like, "Oh," and it was like, "Oh, that's Jimbei." And he comes up, and then it's like everybody's eyes just get big and they get happy, like, "Yo, he made it back. Jimbei returned. Oh man, Jimbei, big boss man, Jimbei." It's like everybody just hype, man. Everybody just hype, like, "Yo, my boy, you made it back." You know what I'm saying? Everybody was so hype. You know, it was so hype when he finally made it back to Wano. He promised Luffy he was gonna make it. He was gonna make it back, and he made it back just in time for the raid. He made it back just in time for the raid. So yeah, man, that's man, Jimbei is that guy. Then there's battle with Who's Who in Wano. You know, he did his thing with that, man. He did his thing. Remember when he had on the argumental hockey, and he just broke dude's fingers, and I think it's called Fishman karate, and he got all these type of Fishman karate moves and stuff like that he could do, you know, in water and on land, and you know, so yeah, Who's Who. He tried to give him a good battle. I respect him for that. He tried, but in the end, Jimbei was just too much for him. So yeah, man. Then he had the little in the anime, he had the little blue aura. So you get the black argumental hockey, and you get the blue aura on top of that. Oh, Jimbei was looking sick, man. He got the dub, man. So in Wano, he came back, and you know, he had his little moment and got the dub against Who's Who. And yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there for today, guys. But so yeah, man, just wanted to say these final remarks, man. Like I said, Jimbei is a great character. I love what he stands for. I love his convictions. And I just, you know, he has his moments of being goofy, and I just love it, man. You know, he's been through so much as a person, and to see him finally get, you know, have, you know, be with the Straw Hats, you know, taking that risk to leave Big Mom's crew, you know, and still having that relationship with his old crewmates, the Sun Pirates, and just everything he's done in the story so far, man. That's everything that he's done in the story, and what he's done for Luffy and helping out the Straw Hats in general. And I love him as a character, man. And I'm waiting for his next big big moments. So yeah, man. Shout out to the One Piece community out there worldwide, man. We out here, baby. And you know, shout out to Oda for, you know, still creating one of the best stories. So yeah, this has been your host, Rashad of the Variety Pack Podcast. And don't forget to follow my socials, Facebook, The Variety Pack Podcast, Twitter, The Variety Pack Podcast, Instagram, The Variety Pack Podcast, and also TikTok, The Variety Pack Podcast. This has been your host, Rashad of the Variety Pack Podcast, and I am out of here. Peace. I'll catch you guys on the next one.